Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be a more high vibe Pisces energy and how some people might be living their life right now because, I don't know, they've gained some type of insight and understanding or seen the truth about something that they are determined to take the lessons they've learned, to move forward in life, to not give up on their dreams. And they're moving forward in life differently than they were previously. And the bottom row can be more worldly focused Pisces energy or a more shadowy focused Pisces energy. It could just be our own shadow nature that causes us to have inner conflict about believing in ourselves. But there'll definitely be people in the world who are aligned with their more hopeful, believing nature at this point in time, and there's going to be some people who are just could be content living their life and they're not even looking to do anything differently. But it can also mean people who don't want to see the truth, want to ignore the truth, because to move forward differently, we have to see, we kind of have to grow and mature ourselves and deal with some issues maybe we don't want to see. You know, Pisces energy can be wanting to live kind of in la la land or live in illusion and not have to deal with the truth. So anyway, whether you're a Pisces sun sign or not, we all harness some Pisces energy. And this energy is what could be available to people. And listen to your intuition about where you are in the story and where other people in your life might be in the story. So let's see what we got here. The reason for the reading for the top row is the King of Swords. You either dealt with a Libra or were dealing with people who you thought would be just and fair, and maybe they were defensive of moving forward. We have holding back in the Four of Pentacles from equal give and take in the Six of Pentacles to offer love, to either hire someone for a job, be a nurturing, supportive, like caregiver, if it's like a parent, or to become a marriage partner, or unwilling to emotionally grow and mature themselves. And if it wasn't someone else, some people, some of you, can realize that was you, that you were holding back. Kind of what the Four of Pentacles can talk about is holding on to this old way of viewing life. Because in order to move forward in life, we have to let go of some of those ways of being in the past, some of our fears, some of our insecurity. Kind of, I want to be the boss. Nobody's the boss of me. Even my intuition, even love. Living more from our mind than our heart because it makes us feel safe. And if we want to kind of grow to our full potential and have our dreams come into reality, between the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles is the difference of the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles can kind of be going back and forth. Do I want to live my life differently? Am I willing to detach from living my life this way, or these people, or this job, or this relationship? You know, we all can have a problem moving forward in life differently because we all like, you know, if we're in a job or relationship or a friendship, we would like that to work instead of having to go find a new job, a new friend, a new romantic relationship, right? But if where we've been, people have been not talking to us, it's stopping us from speaking our truth. Other people are being bossy and controlling. Our mind is more in control of us than our heart and our intuition and love. You know, we've all got our mind, and our mind was made to protect us. Well, we can stay in our fear and our insecurity, and we can keep staying there. Or we can loosen our grip and not let our mind control us so much. And we could maybe put some work and effort into trying to get more balanced within ourselves. And that does take work and effort. And that's what the Pentacles talk about. I have to put, if I want things to change, And if I want there to be more balance, if one person changes how they act in a social dynamic, like a workplace or a friendship or a family, it changes the whole dynamic. And so sometimes it's for one person, regardless of what the other people are doing, to speak your truth and stand in your truth. And high vibe, King of Swords, is Libra energy represented by the scales of justice. I want more equal give and take of the Six of Pentacles. I want, if people are holding back from me, and I've been holding back from speaking my truth, some of the people I might have dealt with might think it's just and fair to be more in shadowy Libra energy. They don't have to be a Libra sun sign. It's just how they harness their Libra energy. They could be, well, I think it's just and fair for me to be more about me, or be a little selfish or prideful or immature or indulgent or selfish or greedy or materialistic. And it really kind of maybe comes down to, what is our truth? What kind of life do we want to live? How do we want to live our life? What kind of people are we working with in the world? Do we think they're just and fair, or do we think they're kind of emotionally cold, detached, bossy and controlling? If they say something's just and fair, we're supposed to think it's just and fair, even though we don't think it's just and fair. The Four of Pentacles is also Capricorn energy, which is where some people's truth is, it's about the world, or it's about me. Four of Pentacles can mean somebody who's selfish and greedy, and they don't like you wanting equal give and take. They don't want to do give and take. In order to move forward with people who want equal give and take in love, it requires people to emotionally grow and mature themselves in the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queens can talk about our emotional nature, and the Kings can kind of represent our more worldly, egoic nature. Are we willing to get balance between our more worldly view of life and what we think is just and fair with our more emotionally nurturing, loving nature to do equal give and take in a workplace or a family or a relationship? And sometimes we find ourselves in a relationship with people who are very stubborn and prideful. No, this is my truth. This is how I'm going to live my life. If you want more equal give and take, you want to do love, you want to be more emotionally mature, or have the whole situation grow and mature itself, or some people are defensive to, if they might be willing to be in a relationship or a marriage, but they might not want to do equal give and take, and they might not want to emotionally grow and mature themselves. So it's like, I do want to stay maybe in the relationship, or I want you to stay at this job, but I'm only willing kind of to be in the relationship with you if you let me keep juggling, basically. It's like, I have this view of life. You might have a more emotionally mature or balanced way of life, kind of balance between your worldly nature, your loving nature, your kind of me nature, and your more trying to work with people cooperatively nature. And there might be people in the world who'd like to exchange resources with you. I want to exchange time, energy, effort, maybe some hugs and kisses with you. It might be even people saying, kind of like to meet them halfway. But it can be difficult if people's underlying philosophy of life, their truth of what they think is just and fair, what drives and motivates them, is different. Let's go look at this card. What's not showing itself? The Nine of Pentacles. Well, that could be the case for some of you, but for others of you, yeah, I think, this kind of looks like someone. I think the people that are more aligned with their worldly nature, they make their life, they're more motivated and inspired by the world, and they want to be in relationships with other people because it's nice to be in relationships with other people. But kind of what drives and motivates them more is the world and maybe their emotionally defensive nature. I want all the things in the world that other people have. I want to be in a relationship. I like the stability. I like the security. I like the companionship. But I am defensive. I would say the King of Swords has his back to this. I'm defensive to letting go of my way of being. I am willing to try to work things out with you and maybe make you a gesture in love. But it kind of seems like they're staying over there, right? Just by the image on the cards. Let me get this a little closer. And it's kind of like, will you, because that pony's feet aren't even moving. Will you come over here and be my partner or work here? But then let's do it my way, which is we don't ever go that way anymore. Okay, fine, let's work it out. Let's compromise. But again, it's like staying stuck at a new level. People who have hope and faith and belief in their dreams and they're willing to step out of their comfort zone, they listen to love and intuition to guide their decisions. And there might be some people who might want to be back in a relationship with you or hire you again, but they still kind of want, well, now this is the new parameters. Okay, I am willing to come 2 steps this way to kind of meet you. I will give up my position somewhat, but it still could be, it's kind of like if they're not willing to speak the truth, and I think this is you now harnessing this energy. I've been in relationships with people and worked at places. The Nine of Pentacles talks about, you'd like to be in relationships, you like to have a job. But what some people don't realize about you and what they don't realize about themselves is they're not very independent. That's what the Nine of Pentacles means. It's Virgo energy. And they also might not be very self-aware to be free, because high vibe energy is about being free. I don't want to be limited and confined and restricted by the world, by my ego, by my fear, by my insecurities, by a job, by a relationship where people aren't doing equal give and take, being loving and encouraging and supportive of each other in truth and justice and fairness. And some people are like, they just don't like being single for some of them. So some people might try to make you a job offer or be your friend or get in a romantic relationship with you just because they don't like being single. And it makes them look at me. I have gotten the justice I deserve. Look, I found myself a friend or a partner or a better job. And sometimes that's all some people care about. It's all, you're either taking action and making decisions out of love, or you're making decisions to get in a relationship for some reason other than love. Some people, well, I don't think you should go get in a relationship with anyone else. I think it's just and fair that you're my partner. So they're in your high vibe row, but they don't harness high vibe Pisces energy. But I want to be in a relationship with you, but I'm willing to come this far, but, then that's the end. I don't know. For some of you, this could be someone It's one thing if they're your adult child or your sibling or your parent or a friend. You know, there you might be willing to do work with increments because any step forward can be some progress. And maybe you are a parental figure because the Queen of Pentacles can mean someone, and the Queens talk about our emotional state, so it doesn't matter if you're male or female, that you're a very emotionally nurturing, loving person. And there could be some people in your life that are willing to concede some to maybe get out of their stubborn ego-ness. You know, it's one thing to do that with platonic people in our life that we love. It's another thing to do that with people we would like to have a romantic relationship with, because it's like, well, I turned my back on you before because I didn't want to do equal give and take. They could have wanted to move forward and either indulge in someone else or indulge themselves emotionally in the world. And they could have thought, because if you were doing this work within yourself to stand in your truth, you didn't necessarily maybe want to be single from them, but you were going to hold back if somebody wanted you to move forward with them, where it was kind of a more transactional relationship, is what the Six of Pentacles can talk about. Like, oh, I'm willing to exchange things with you. You know, if you give me these things, and you're like, what about love? How about we all grow up and mature ourselves? How about we're both emotionally nurturing, loving, warm people? Nope, can't do that. I get hurt doing that. Nope. I don't. And some people, these are people that aren't in your life anymore. Because instead of working with you cooperatively and having hope and faith and belief and love, you know, people had that free will choice to make in a relationship. And some people thought, I know, I have a different idea. I'm going to hold back. They might have wanted to become single. Maybe they wanted to go make an offer to someone else or go indulge in the world. And there's some people in the world that are doing that right now. Some people don't want to become independent of their mind. If they're an emotionally defensive person who operates more from their ego, it makes them feel safe and secure. They don't have to do the work to emotionally deal with their fears and their insecurities to emotionally grow and mature themselves. So they let their ego, I kind of sometimes look at the King of Swords as a person's own inner narcissist that runs their life. You can't go out there. You could get hurt. We've got to, you know, be logical, be practical. And some people just didn't want to move forward with the loving people in their life because they are selfish and bossy and controlling, and you were too independent. You knew your worth and value. Initially, they could have thought when they held back from you, or some of the people doing that right now, could have thought that you wouldn't keep moving forward, loving and believing in yourself, that you'd hold back from that because you didn't want to be single. And that maybe eventually you would talk to them again to get back in a relationship and say, I'm ready to be in a relationship with you and nurture you. And I'll be the emotionally nurturing person. And you can be the bossy, controlling, emotionally cold, stubborn, prideful person. What some of those people didn't know about you is that you harness high vibe Virgo energy. They might harness a more worldly Virgo energy. Their long-term goal is all about money and status and image. That's very important to them, how other people view them in the world. What they didn't realize, you're more independent than that. And you know your worth and value. And if someone was going to turn their back on you, hold back from you, try to manipulate you basically in a relationship instead of being just and fair and truthful and honest and high vibe Libra energy. In Virgo energy is about going within to see the truth. It can be really confusing when you're working with people in your life who you think and you view as being someone who's truthful or honest or just and fair, that you thought wanted to move forward with you in life, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, that you viewed as like a nurturing person in your life that you loved. And then when they decide, no, I'm not doing that, I'm going to turn my back to that, and I'm going to make the free will choice to hold back from you, you know, it can be a manipulation tactic. I don't think you'll love and believe in yourself. I don't think you want to be single from me or independent from me. You know, the same thing can happen in a job. A person at an employment place can be kind of selfish and greedy, not really doing an equal give and take, being bossy and controlling, and they hope that the people who work there will just not love and believe in themselves enough to go make an offer to someone else for a job. Someone who's has a higher EQ, emotional intelligence, you know, to work together with people in a supportive and encouraging way. And so some of you just left a job, some of you left a relationship, some of you had to leave a friendship, some of you had it all happen over a span of time. And there's some people who are just thinking of doing it. Some people harness shadowy Pisces energy, and they're the ones who don't have hope and faith and belief in their dreams and in love, and they're not listening to their intuition and taking action in truth and love, and they're trying to get the people that are emotionally loving, nurturing people in their life to do things the way they want it. For other people, I know it gets confusing, but for other people, it could kind of be the other way around, where they could have gotten into something, seem logical, practical, you know, maybe didn't know their worth and value, didn't like being single. From the 9 to the 4 is the 5 of Pentacles, which can be feeling left out in the cold. And then if someone came along, communicated with them, and said, I'll exchange time, energy, and effort with you. You should emotionally invest in me. Some loving people got in a relationship with someone, and they're realizing the person they got in a relationship with is kind of, I want you to invest in me. I want to be your partner. It's good, makes practical, logical sense. It's good for my ego, my image, my stability, whatever. But it's not love. And some of those people are realizing, wait a minute. Hold up. I think, you know, because some people can be in high vibe Pisces energy, but they have shadowy people in their life. And the shadowy people in their life were either people in their past who tried to manipulate them, which we could have had that also. And then some people have found themselves in a new situation, learning more lessons, that the next person they got in a relationship with is kind of bossy and controlling. And if they get in that relationship, they're afraid they're going to end up moving forward in a relationship with someone who's more aligned with their Libra Taurus energy, where it is more about image and status and money and not really in it for love. And some of those people are holding back from that, moving forward in that relationship. Maybe because they're starting to, I think they're doing this work within themselves that they could have moved forward in that relationship out of some fear or insecurity, maybe didn't feel like they had much stability within themselves or financially, and the person they went to go get in a relationship with does. It looks like they have justice in the world, you know, the things of the world that we would want, and the Queen of Pentacles would certainly have more money than a Four of Pentacles, you know. And some people could have been juggling and kind of thought, well, maybe, I can get to know this person and find out, and they could have emotionally invested in someone, and then later that's when they realized that we harness our Pisces, Libra, Taurus energy differently. And Taurus energy has to do with our underlying philosophy of life and how we view relationships, and Libra is about what do we think is just and fair, what's our truth. Some people have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. Isn't it all about getting in the relationship and creating this illusion that we have it all? Isn't that what everybody does? And some high vibe people are like, I thought it was about love. And I thought, you seem to initially present yourself as a very just and fair and honest and balanced and emotionally nurturing person. But maybe as time has went by, I've noticed that you seem more bossy, controlling, emotionally cold and detached, and more materialistic or something than I realized that you were. And so some of those people are holding back from moving forward in that type of relationship. So it just depends on where you are. And if you're in relationships, there might be someone who communicates to you, and for some of you, someone already did, who said, I don't want to be independent of you anymore. I do see you as a very emotionally nurturing, loving person. I am going to speak my truth. I had to let go of whatever my lack mentality, being in my fear, living more from my mind, had to detach from whatever I was attached to. And now I'm ready to align with my more hopeful, believing, more balanced nature to get the justice I deserve in life. And I think you are the person for me, and I think we're on the same page. So, and some of you also could have spoken your truth to someone that you maybe didn't know if they were single or not, but it could have been someone that previously you could have held back from, maybe didn't even get in a relationship with them, someone who held back from you, or someone you didn't move forward with at some point in time, and you could have made someone else an offer, to say that I've got more balance within myself. I've become single from whatever things I had been involved in. And now that I have grown up and matured myself and learned lessons in life, and I'm hoping you have too, that I would like to get in a relationship with you. And you could have spoken your truth. And now you could be kind of waiting to see if the different people that you could have communicated to in your life, just that, I'm moving forward. I'm speaking my truth. I want just and fair and balanced and emotionally nurturing, loving relationships. If you are not on that page and you're kind of more about the world or indulgence or don't want to be just and fair in a relationship, it's up to you. But kind of maybe waiting to see who is going to let go of either trying to be bossy or manipulative or live life more from their worldly viewpoint, and who's going to move forward with you. So a lot of different scenarios. And I think if nobody, I think there will be some people, who knows who those people are, just people in the world, people you work with, people in the community, there's just generally going to be other people in the world who are letting go of an old way of being, of living more from their mind than their heart and being cold, to wanting to work together with others. And you're going to go talk to the people in the world who seem to be open and receptive, kind of balance between their more emotional way of being and their worldly nature, to be someone who you view as emotionally nurturing and loving. And those are the people you're going to start investing in. And I think if some people are realizing that the people they had been moving forward with aren't the people that they should be moving forward with. I think those people are going to speak their truth and hold back from those people. And then when they get balanced within themselves, to get out of, anytime you leave something, it can take a while of adjustment, even leaving one job to go to another job, to get balanced within themselves, to believe in what can be, emotionally invest in healing themselves and getting clear about their truth and what they're willing to stand up for and what they're no longer willing to keep defending. And then they'll take their action. And some of you, as you keep moving forward in life, holding back from people in your life who aren't talking to you right now or aren't single to be in a relationship with you, as you keep moving forward, maybe eventually, though you're speaking your truth, but maybe eventually those people, you want to meet them basically in the future in a way. They have to do all this work within themselves to be where you're at if they weren't there already. And for the people that were already there, they were waiting for you to do this work. Because even if it's not someone there's people in the world that have been in these type of jobs, friendships, and relationships, and they got out of them. And they know there's a lot of other people that are in jobs and relationships and friendships that aren't that healthy. And they're wishing some of the other people would get out of those unhealthy relationships and see the truth and stand up for what they believe in, because they're looking to want to emotionally invest in someone, but they don't want to invest in someone who's still clinging to the past, still feeling left out in the cold from someone in their past, who still is going back and forth if they want to return to the person in their life who was kind of in shadowy energy, whatever that could be, immature, prideful, lack mentality, doesn't have hope and faith and belief and love, selfish, greedy, self-centered, bossy, controlling, whatever. They basically sabotage a relationship. And if people get in a relationship with them, they end up feeling stuck. And so then people can speak their truth and become single from them. But it does take a long time. We're emotionally complex human beings. And we wanted a dream to come into reality with people. And it takes time to just kind of reconcile ourselves, because down here we have the Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Hangman, which is Pisces, and the Knight of Cups is Pisces. Pisces is emotional water sign energy. It is about having hopes and dreams, and it's about loving people and wanting to invest in people. And it takes time when something we were invested in and moving forward with, that we thought a dream was going to come into reality, and we thought those people were going to do the work within themselves to heal from their past pain and heartbreak, their self-limiting beliefs, to have some hope and faith and belief and love, and that eventually they would hold back from their more worldly view of life, or fearful, or controlling, or defensive. And we thought they'd exchange that foundation for a more loving foundation, but eventually, if we keep staying in a relationship with people and we keep feeling left out in the cold, and the other person we see seems to be more, their underlying philosophy of life is like, come on, let's go. It's all about money and materialism and pride and ego and maintaining this illusion that we have it all. But shadowy Hangman is about operating from pride and ego. Isn't that the end goal? Don't we get in a relationship and get married? And then that's it. It's like, look, we got it. Accomplished the goal. Got in a marriage. Okay, now nobody ever grow and mature yourself. Nobody deal with any of your fears and insecurities. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to get married. To have a certain image and a certain status. And it's like, And if those type of people, they probably like to invest in other people who make their life all about operating from their ego. Don't you want that too, honey? Oh, it'll be great. And then we can go hang out with these people and we can go on vacations together and it'll be like we have it all. And the other people are like, you know, they feel left out in the cold. They'd like it to work. They're trying to offer love and encouragement to the people they're in a relationship with, to see the truth that there's more to it, and there's supposed to be more to it than just the ego and the image and the status and the money or the indulgence or the stability or the whatever. It's supposed to be about going with the flow. And part of going with the flow of the Wheel of Fortune is that, you know, we grow and mature ourselves. We're not supposed to stay stuck. When we feel stuck, we're supposed to kind of figure out, how did I get here and I'm stuck? You know, maybe it's partly that we're supposed to look at life from a different perspective, expand our perception of how we view life and how we view the world and how we view relationships, and maybe trying to see things from other people's perspectives instead of it just being about what we want. But there's some people that, you know, they have their own ideas of what it means to be in a relationship. And for some of them, I operate from pride and ego, and it's my way or the highway. I don't see things from any other perspective. It is all about the ego and the image and the money and the status and the stability and the security. It's not about love. I get hurt doing that. I'm defensive to getting hurt. I'm not going to do love. But I'll be in a relationship with you. And I want to maybe be in the relationship with you because you might be loving and nurturing and balanced in your Libra energy, but they're tipped out of balance. They're in fear or insecurity or pride or ego or immaturity or self-centeredness, or just caught up in the illusion of the world and maybe don't think that's all there is. And, you know, that's when some people eventually in a relationship that's a mismatched relationship, eventually they're like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to love and encourage these people. I haven't been acting out of pride and ego. I haven't been trying to be manipulative and controlling or whatever. You know, I've been trying to be just and fair and honest and loving and trying to see things from their perspective and encouraging and offering them love and resources to help them have some hope and faith and belief in love, in truth, in love. Get more balanced within yourself. Why are you so fearful and afraid? Why are you so defensive? Why can't you get out of your more egoic view of life? But there's some people, you know, the Five of Pentacles, you know, a full 10 of Pentacles would be 10. Some people, it's just like, no, I hold back from even exchanging resources with my more loving, intuitive, emotional nature. I mean, we are emotionally complex human beings. They are confusing. And I know I got to talk to my two sons about it, which I know there's women who do it too, but I'm not that concerned about my two daughters. But I think I just, you know, this phenomena that maybe it could happen more with men because they are kind of the way at least we raise them here in the United States. You know, so culturally it is kind of like they don't get to be a fully functioning human being from the time they're a child. You know, it's like boys don't cry, suck it up, blah, blah. You know, it's kind of like they don't get to live a fully functioning life because they have to kind of suppress their more emotional, intuitive nature and make it about the world and aligning with their worldly nature. And some people also previously did invest in relationships, and the other people in their life could have been defensive or bossy or controlling or whatever. That could have even happened in childhood. And it made them decide, I'm done. You know, if the very people in my life who I thought would be loving, nurturing, just, fair, balanced people, encouraging and supportive, and try to see things from my perspective. And I, you know, especially when we're children, you know, we really want to have those type of relationships with our parents and in our young relationships and our future relationships. And if people went through an experience where people just refuse to budge, some people could have decided, that was their early role models, and they decided, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I don't even want to deal with my emotions and my confusion about it. I'm just going to align with my more worldly nature. And if I move forward, putting in work and effort to get the wheel of fate to move in my favor, so I look like I have the stability and the security and all these things of the world, I think that's just and fair. And, there'll probably be other people who are kind of stuck, and they'll be willing to be a relationship partner with me. I just might be someone who lives more from my mind than my heart. I'll try to find someone who might be a loving Pisces energy who is stuck, and then I'll get in a relationship with them, and they'll be kind of like the loving, nurturing person, and I'll be kind of the emotionally detached person who's kind of indulging in a relationship with someone like that. And the reason why it's unjust and unfair is because the person who's being authentic and loving and balanced, just being an authentic, fully functioning, all-in person, and the other person's like, oh, well, no, I've invested in my ego and I'm defensive to that, but I will show up in the relationship. But you're kind of like going out with a cardboard cutout as far as I'm concerned. People can have sex with you and it can all seem like everything's going forward. But when it comes to, the problem is, as the other people keep growing and maturing and dealing with releasing some of their past pain and heartbreak and their self-limiting beliefs, it's just like people when we're age 15 and we go to 18 years old and we go to 21 years old and 23 and 25. These are people who it's like, well, no, I want this. And then I don't ever want you to listen to your intuition or your creative nature. And I don't want you to step out of this box because this is where I'm at. And in order for me to move forward with you, I would have to let go of some things that I cling and hold on to that make me feel safe. And I would have to give up some of those things to get more balance within myself, which means I'd have to align with maybe being a little more invested in the relationship and get more balance between my emotional nature and my worldly nature. And for some people, that's just too dangerous. That puts them at danger of being emotionally invested. And that's when they can get hurt. And there's some people who, no, I just want to be in a relationship where I don't have to deal with any of my issues. I don't have to emotionally invest. I do juggle. I want to exchange resources with people, but I want to keep going back and forth. I want to present myself as high vibe, but I still want my fear and my insecurity and my emotional defensive nature. So it's kind of constantly going back and forth, and it can work out fine until the other person is ready to kind of like go to the next phase of life. It's like being friends and being in a relationship when you're 15 and you want to go out in the world more to explore life more, like an 18 or a 21 or a 23. And they're like, well, no, because I'd have to give up some of these ways of being in my 15-year-old way of being to face some of my fears of, putting myself out there in the world differently. And that's when the problem comes up. And that's when some people, you don't even know that they were like that. And that's when their stubbornness and their more kind of controlling nature can come out, because, yeah, they might want to be in the relationship, but they don't want to deal with the issues that they have about maybe just being more authentic and vulnerable, taking the relationship to the next level. Or they could have had a set way of thinking of how people should live their life and that people should live their life like this. That could have been how they grew up. That could have been how their family was. And you're supposed to live your life like that. And then we move forward like that. We exchange time, energy, effort in a relationship. I provide maybe more of the worldly things or the status or the image or the money or the looks or whatever it is people think they got that they contribute. And you're supposed to be loving and nurturing. And we keep moving forward, me being in my pride and ego and you being emotionally nurturing, and I think that's just and fair. And some people are like, I don't think that's just and fair. So I think some people have left people like that. Some people are going to leave people like that. And they, we've all gone through situations where we got in relationships and we wished everything had worked out the way we wanted, and it didn't. And we felt stuck. Well, the difference is that people who don't want to take action, like I feel left out in the cold. I know I could do work within myself to get balance within myself, to invest in myself emotionally, to love myself, to heal, to get to where I feel back to myself again in balance. That's one option that people have. But there's a lot of people who don't do that. They feel left out in the cold. And instead of choosing high vibe energy of hope and faith and love and belief in themselves to heal, I feel left out in the cold. I want to feel better. So then they take action more out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego or pain or heartbreak. And they get themselves in a relationship. And then they move forward in a relationship. And then eventually they might feel stuck in a relationship because the reason they really got into it wasn't coming from the healthiest of places. And that can be okay to a degree because we'll always kind of be drawn and attracted to kind of maybe getting in relationships with people who are kind of on the same page we are. A lot of people do. And then if we work together, we can all gain some insight and understanding and maturity through that relationship that then we realize that, let's do some work to kind of take ourselves to the next level, to grow and mature ourselves more, and they kind of go to the next level of life. And it could all work out for some people. But sometimes people get themselves in a relationship just sometimes operating out of ego. I'm going to show you who's boss. You aren't doing the relationship the way I want, or you're more bold and brave and confident than me, or you've healed and I haven't healed. And then they still don't heal. And they keep repeating the same pattern over and over. And for some, it's like, I'm going to do this same pattern. I'm going to maybe try to present myself as being someone who's in high vibe energy, but I'm not. I'm going to try to invest in looking like a Pisces so that I can go make an offer to someone, but I still have my same lack mentality. I want to be in a relationship because I feel left out in the cold. And then people look to a person they get in a relationship like some people look at drugs and alcohol. Oh my God, are you my answer? Oh my God, I need an answer. I need a savior. I need, but they never do the work within themselves. They reject. And that's why some of you left people like this. They reject doing the work they need to do within themselves. They never go within to figure out, why do I feel left out in the cold? Yes, we've all had relationships that didn't work out. We could have all had bossy and controlling, and some people have went through horrific things. But some people didn't give up on loving and believing in themselves and being willing to grow and mature themselves. But again, some people can have these illusions about life and relationships. Some people are under the illusion they shouldn't have to do that work within themselves. That's not their job. For some reason, I don't know where they get it. Some people think, well, no, that's someone else's job. It's like, but if you have low self-esteem, if you don't love and believe in yourself, people can only provide a loving, nurturing, supportive environment for you to do the work within yourself to love yourself, to get clear about what your truth is. Do I deserve to be loved? Do I love me? I don't control anyone else in the world. I better hope I love me. I could have the whole world trying to kick me to the curb and throw me under the bus. I better not be one of them. But I think that's something we do as human beings, especially when we're young, we really criticize ourselves and belittle ourselves, and the whole point of life is to learn that you have free will. Every day, you should learn to be your own best mother, father, coach voice in your own head. To be loving, being like life-giving energy, like divine energy to yourself. The divine works through you. Treat yourself like you believe, God would treat you. Treat yourself with love and compassion and forgiveness. This game of life ain't easy, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. We got layers and layers of our worldly nature to work through. This takes a lifetime, Once we get through one layer, guess what? New fears and insecurities and levels of ways of ourself that we didn't even know were there. And then we're going to have to deal with those. Oh my God, now this is a new thing. I didn't know I was kind of worried and insecure about this or whatever, But some people, for some reason, maybe just think, I'll just keep operating from pride and ego. I'm not going to do it. There's a lot of people in the world who refuse to self-reflect. Why didn't that relationship work out? Were you bossy and controlling? Are you prideful and egotistical? Do you have a lack mentality? Do you hold on too tight? Do you try to control people instead of going with the flow? Why don't you go with the flow? Why don't you invest in stepping outside of your comfort zone and letting love and intuition guide you? Why does your fear and your insecurity interfere? So I think for some of the people, and we could have had people in life who distanced themselves from us because we had growing up and maturing to do. Just find yourself in the story where you are. The whole thing is, there is always the free will choice to choose love if you want the justice you deserve. If we keep making decisions out of fear, insecurity, pride, ego, our shadow nature is represented by the devil. We have the free will choice to choose love and take action in our life in a balanced way to let go of some old ways of being and to let go of some of our fear and our insecurity, to offset our fear and insecurity with love and compassion and forgiveness, so that we can be more balanced, so we can move forward, having some hope and faith, and loving ourselves. Now that's a critical component to maintaining balance within ourselves, and we have to love our worldly nature. We've all made mistakes. We probably have done things we're ashamed of that we wish we wouldn't have done. We have to love our more immature in whatever you want to call it, nature, if we want to move forward in a balanced manner. We can't ignore it, and we need to offer love to ourselves so that we can take action to get the justice we deserve. And until we learn to love our worldly nature and incorporate love into how we make decisions in our life, because I view the Queen of Pentacles as Taurus energy, and Taurus energy has to do, it dictates the decisions we make in our life. It's our overarching philosophy of life. Do I deserve to not go back and repeat an old pattern of life? Because I've already been there and done that. I've already learned the lessons I was meant to learn from living my life like that. Why would I go back? There's nothing new to learn there. It's like dead energy. And the people I could have been with lacked insight, aren't independent, and they're kind of dictated by their fear and insecurity. I need to love and believe in myself so that I can take action to get the justice I deserve. And I think some of you are standing in that truth right now and taking action. And there's other people who are going to want to be in relationships with you because you have done this work. And they see that. And some of those people were holding back from making you an offer until they saw you did do that work. They didn't want to make an offer to someone who's still juggling. Well, I still haven't decided. Am I still feeling left out in the cold from those people that weren't willing to work cooperatively with me in a loving relationship, who weren't willing to emotionally grow and mature themselves, who are motivated and inspired by other things or other people? Have I seen the truth? The truth sets us free. And when we keep standing in our truth and we keep not taking prideful, egotistical, well, I feel left out in the cold, God, I'm going to take the steering wheel. I'm going to go drive me right back in the ditch again. You know? If we don't want to do that, we take action in truth and love and justice and compassion for ourselves and for other people. Why would we want to get in a relationship with someone if we're still kind of juggling and going back and forth? You know, unless we're going to be truthful and honest about it. Some people aren't, though. It's like, nope, I'm in my ego. I'm upset. Someone held back for me. It didn't work out the way I wanted. I'm in my pride and ego. I'm going to go get in another relationship. And then we get ourselves entangled in a relationship we really shouldn't have been in. Some of you might have wished somebody could move forward with you in a relationship, but they got themselves stuck. And they might have taken some action out of pride and ego. Now they got themselves entangled in something that they maybe wish they wouldn't. And, you know, that's what happens, you know? And some of those people are going to hold on to what they have because they did exchange time and energy with those people. And in Pisces energy, they could have created the illusion that this was everything they could have wanted. And now they're in their ego about it. If they were to speak their truth and say, really, I really shouldn't have even gotten in this relationship. Or I kind of realized a long time ago that I feel left out in the cold in this relationship. That the person I went and got in a relationship with could be kind of clingy, could be kind of materialistic, could be kind of stubborn or prideful or bossy or controlling and shit. But they'd have to speak their truth. Pride comes before the fall. But are we willing to admit we made a mistake? I was wrong. I wasn't listening to my intuition. I could have made some decisions out of pride and ego. I felt stuck. I felt whatever. You know, you get the idea. Okay, let's just skip to the gist here. What is coming up for those people? And some people have already gotten in their new relationships and they're defending it. You know, this is my truth. Others of you are standing in your truth. And when you find the people that are on the same page as you, you're going to speak your truth about it and defend it. And other people might come in and speak to you and they're going to defend you because they see that you're on the same page. And some of the people they were in relationships with before were not on the same page as them. And they got out of those relationships and they want to move forward with someone who does seem on the same page. The Nine of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Cups. And the reason is because of the Empress. These three cards came out because of the Empress. The Empress energy is, again, emotionally about people in their Taurus Libra energy who did the work. They did the work to let go of their more worldly nature in kind of a fearful type of Capricorn energy about, don't I need to work with the things of the world? Don't I need to work with these people? Don't I need to stay in this job? This is the way I've done life. Shouldn't I keep doing life that way? To learn some lessons and add those lessons that they've learned from that life experience, that I felt unappreciated, I felt unloved, I felt left out in the cold living my life that way or with those people. And I'm going to take the lessons I've learned and add those to my Taurus energy, my overarching philosophy of life. I have learned some lessons. And I am going to emotionally invest in loving people. And I think there's going to be some people who are stressed out, for one, because they held back from love. They hold back from being like their own loving mother energy to their own inner child. And because of that, the people who do offer love to their inner child that has hope and faith and belief and love, those people gave a lot of thought. If I keep holding on to living my life the way I am, or the people I've been in relationship with, it's kind of like I'm not nurturing and loving myself. Because if I have been loving and encouraging to other people and they hold back from doing the work within themselves to heal and grow, I'm not in a just and a fair and a balanced relationship. I'm giving and they're taking. I'm giving and they're kind of indulging because they don't want to change. They don't want to let go of some ways of being that feel safe, or being more vulnerable, or being more authentic. And my dreams won't come into reality with them. And so after giving it lots of thought, the high vibe people are able to hold back from the people in their life that they also viewed as loving, that they thought would put in work and effort to choose love and be just and fair and balanced. And they could have found out they choose to align with their more shadowy Libra Taurus energy. I'm more aligned with my worldly nature. It's kind of like they indulge their more emotionally immature nature, or they want people to indulge them like a parent would indulge a child. I have fear and insecurity. I hold back from love. Won't you be like a mother figure to me and treat me like I can do whatever I want, and you indulge me like a parent does a child? It's like, I don't want to be in a relationship with a child. I want to be in a relationship with people who've done the work to get balance within themselves, who've worked through their fears and insecurities, who hold back from their more emotionally immature, codependent nature, and indulging emotionally in their more worldly, selfish, greedy, prideful nature, because they have fear about love. It's like, then go live your life that way. I wish you peace. That's what the Page of Pentacles gets to. It's like, I've given it a lot of thought. I can love people and they won't be moving forward with me in my life because they have to be willing to see the truth. And some people are in a real mental prison about the truth. You mean I'm supposed to love my worldly self? It's not someone else's job to love me? And it's like, no, it's an inside job. You have to heal. And if you haven't healed, you're going to keep taking action and having this lack mentality, and nobody can get you out of your lack mentality of why you don't think you deserve love. Yes, maybe other people were unjust and unfair and unloving, but you can love you, and you can heal, and you can give yourself all the things that you wish those people would have given you. And that would be you being enlightened to the truth that, oh my gosh, I've been holding back from loving people in my life, and I've basically been sabotaging those relationships because I hadn't learned to love myself. So also, I think because you're focusing on the future, and instead of getting up in your head, in your fear and your insecurities, you're offering yourself love to stay focused on love. And you're holding back from some immature people in the world because you've already been in relationships with people like that. And I think you just go out in the world and offer people peace and love to encourage them. This is like exchanging resources and being friends with people, offering people love and encouragement so that they can maybe start to see the truth that they deserve, to treat themselves with love and to stand in their truth and heal from some of their past pain and heartbreak. And there also might be some people stressed that you're holding back from them. And I think there's some other people that are really giving a lot of thought. Right now, they've been holding back But because again, they would have to let go of their more worldly view of life, or making their life more about money and materialism, or being indulged, to connecting in with their more hopeful, believing nature. And the people who do that are the people that will connect with you, because that's the energy that you're in. And those are the type of people you want to be in a relationship with. You know, people who have that hopeful, believing nature, in love, being willing to give birth to something new instead of doing life the same old way we've been doing it. You know, how does humanity ever evolve over time if how we view the world and ourselves and relationships and marriages and workplaces never changes because everybody's so afraid of change? Okay, let's get a different deck. What's coming up for the people who might harness a little more worldly focused, or shadowy focused, or just live an illusion? What's coming up for them that they might not see coming? You know what? And you're also holding back from indulging your more immature nature that could be tempted to want to hold on to the past and repeat old patterns from a more emotionally mature status. You're like, nope, we have been there and done that. It just caused us a lot of stress and anxiety. We deserve love. So I am going to hold back from indulging my more emotionally immature nature to offer love to my mind and my worldly nature, so that I can make peace with the past and let it go and move on from it. What's coming up for the people in shadowy energy? The Wheel of Fortune came out because of the King of Cups. They might think we have the Wheel of Fortune here too. You know, in high vibe energy, we go with the flow of the universe. It's like, instead of telling God, like, but God, I want those people. But God, they got to come with me. But God, and God's like, they're not coming with you. They're holding back. They don't want to go with. They have free will. And if you want to stay right there and not move forward in your ego, you can. Or you can get out of your ego and realize it really doesn't have anything to do with you. They have free will. If they were open to being in just and fair relationships, or being more authentic and vulnerable and loving in the world, they would be. But they maybe still have some lessons to learn. And in shadowy energy, it can be about trying to force the wheel of fate to go in your favor. I don't have to do it that way. I don't have to be just and fair. I don't have to be authentic and vulnerable. I think I can get all the things that I want, that I have like what everyone else has, and I think I can keep doing it for my pride and ego and my emotionally defensive nature. And I think I'm going to go make an offer to someone else who I think might feel stuck. And I think the Wheel of Fate will turn in my favor. And they're going to go... They think that if they keep... Some people think if I keep operating from pride and ego, the people in my life who I know did love me and wanted to be in a relationship with me and have a dream come into reality, I'm going to keep moving forward, wearing my false mask of being a loving family person to the world. And I bet those people want to come back and get in a relationship. Could be one of the ways of what they're planning to do to try to force the Wheel of Fate in their favor. What they might not see is that because they keep moving forward, I look at the Kings in Tarot, we all take action in masculine energy because we can all present ourselves any way we want to in the world, and nobody knows the truth of who we are internally, emotionally. And the Queens in Tarot can talk about who we truly are inside emotionally. I think the Wheel of Fortune can mean what goes around comes around, since they don't want to be more authentic and vulnerable and loving, and they prefer to move forward kind of hiding behind their false mask of their ego, I think what goes around comes around. I think they're going to meet someone, and in our shadow energy, it can mean we're not seeing things clearly because we're not seeing the truth, because our judgment is clouded by our immaturity, our lust, our greed, our pride, our ego, our fear. There's someone who they think harnesses high vibe Pisces energy, probably. Someone who they might think will be a loving, nurturing person who will want to invest in them and be their partner. Ha ha! That's my plan. But I think what goes around comes around, and they might get in a relationship with someone kind of like themselves who wears a false mask. And I think they're going to get in a relationship with someone who operates more from pride and ego. If they had been in relationships with loving people and they weren't willing to see the truth with those people, it's like, okay, option B. And then somebody more shadowy comes in their life to see if that will make them see the truth. And I think God keeps giving people all these choices, and there's all these people in the world that we can choose to be friends with and hang out with and everything. I just think if they are fortunate enough that kind of like God takes pity on them, guess what? I'm giving you another loving person. They could just feel like, oh my God, why can I not just find someone who's more about money and materialism, who wants to operate from their ego? Because now this is another person who's going to want me to emotionally grow and mature myself. Damn. And they can reject it if they want and hold back from those people. Nope, not going to do it. I'm going to keep trying to find the people who are like me. And then that might be what they manifest. And then I guess they'll find out what it's like to maybe be in a relationship with someone like themselves. How do you like being in a relationship with someone else who has a lack mentality, who doesn't really like to open up, who really doesn't want to do equal give and take, who might be more in the relationship for money and materialism, might be bossy and controlling, might be stubborn, might be, but they wear such a good false mask. To you and everyone in the world, they seem like just such a nice person. They're not trying to manipulate you. They're not trying to confuse you about the truth, but they are. Just like maybe a master manipulator. So there you go, Pisces. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.